Hello, hello there, my crafty friends. It's Candy here from sweetstamper.com, and I have some fun projects to share with you tonight. We're actually going to do a how-to video because not really a technique, but how to use one of our hybrid embossing folders. And I do love the hybrid embossing folders. I'm going to give it just a minute here to see who else is going to join me and make sure I'm all up and ready in the right places. And oh yeah, lighting is looking pretty good. So this is a good thing. Hey, Kathy, I'm so glad you're here with me tonight. We are having gorgeous spring weather here in San Antonio. I haven't even looked at the national weather map to see what's going on everywhere else, but we are having really gorgeous spring weather, and it's super dry, really low humidity. And you know, San Antonio is semi-arid, so sometimes it's low and sometimes it's medium and sometimes it's downright muggy. But typically when we have muggier days, that humidity burns off by lunchtime. So yeah, hope things are good in your corner of the world. Lots going on in mine. That's just the way I like to run. I like to run busy. Let me grab some scrap paper. Okay. I get these little pads of paper from the Drury Hotel. That's where I hold my my weekend retreats, and they're just the right size, and they give me a whole stack of them every time I do a retreat. So they make, because they're half sheets, they make really nice, easy scrap paper that I can throw away. So it's cold and windy where you are. Well, do you guys get a lot of wind, Kathy? I'm thinking Kansas gets a lot of wind. So we're going to give it just another minute. See if anybody else is going to find us before we get going here. You can see I've got quite a few projects out here. I'm going to demonstrate a couple of just the ways to use the hybrid embossing folder. The Happy Hibiscus Bundle. It's a whole sheet and match with loads of stamps and embossing folder and dies. It's pretty nifty. And we are using it for our stamping bingo. So, hey, Kim, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for sharing my video. So stamping bingo is something I run every month. I took a little bit of a wee break over Christmas, and then I got sick. So we are back in the saddle, and we are typically the third Wednesday of the month. So that is March the 19th this month, and you have 2 more days to register. So with Stamping Bingo, we play in a private Facebook group, and it's just straight up bingo. There's no fancy footwork. There's no, X marks the spot or picture frame or anything like that. Hey, Crystal, I'm glad you're here. It's just 6 games of bingo. Give away a lot of prizes. And when we're finished with bingo, then I demonstrate the 3 cards that are in the packet. So I ship out typically about a week before the date here, which is when we meet at 7 p.m. Central. I will ship out a packet. Now, these are the packets. Well, these are the cards that are in the bingo packet. This is what I'm kind of playing with tonight, just another color variation. So I chose the Happy Hibiscus Bundle. One of the things I decided early on with my stamping bingo is I wanted to have a little bit of a characteristic. And so I always feature online exclusive products. And that just kind of helps me kind of focus and have a distinction between this event and some of my others. Not that I don't also feature online exclusives in other events, but I always do in my stamping bingo. So I wanted to do the Happy Hibiscus. So you get all of these die cut pieces, everything is ready for you to go. And I always have, I haven't put my white piece in there yet. I always have a fun fold. That's usually the way I run my events. Usually you get one fun fold. So this is what I'm going to be showing you tonight. Let me back up here. You're going to get a portion of these gold. These are the textured gold dots, also in the online exclusives. And then probably about 2 feet of this gold trim. This is actually in our spring catalog. So this is one of the things I love about this hibiscus is it's such a gorgeous flower. And there are very pale hibiscus and very deep and bright hibiscus and everything in between. So, it's grown in tropical regions and it's just a beautiful flower. So I was playing with it to get ready for tonight. And I wanted to show you a few things before I get into my demonstration. So this is the bundle. And I wanted to point out there are a lot of stamps in here. And I am a stamp happy girl, so I was really excited. Now I'm using all but 2 tonight, so because I wanted to really show you how some of these things run. The dies are equally lovely. So I like the fact that you get 2 different types of standalone leaves. These little flowers, I think they're maybe supposed to be like a plumeria that you could make a lei out of. I'm not sure. 2 really, really nice tag dies. So lots of things you can do with this. And before I show you the embossing folder, I'll just show you, this is what the flowers look like. And you see how they have that little ridge in them. So they're super easy to run because you get 3 of them. So you can run multiples quite easily. And then on this card here, where I brought in the Faith collection with the hibiscus folder and some of the dies, I stacked the 2 flowers together, the large and the small, for a really different look. And so what I wanted to showcase was really the incredible versatility and value in this bundle. So welcome, Jolene and Kim. I'm so glad y'all are here. So you can see how the flowers look singly and how they look stacked. Now, let's talk about, I have some of the dies here that I'm going to be using tonight, and that's why they're not over here. I would typically have them all laid out here. Okay, let's talk about the embossing folder. The embossing folder is actually a hybrid. So the dies come with the folder. And I don't think you can buy the folder on its own, but I might be wrong. Somebody on here will probably know that better than I do. So yeah, it says on the thing, it's a hybrid embossing folder. So that means it has the dies with it. Okay, now let me show you. Typically, well, you always want to run the fold or the spine into the machine. And that just helps to protect the integrity of the spine so it doesn't come apart on you as easily. And you always know that the Stampin' Up! Logo, that's the top. Now this one, I feel, although you can run it either way, I like to run it where I know that my pattern is going to run this way, because I feel like the hibiscus are running this way. Technically, you could do them here, but I don't really want my hibiscus. This is the largest one. I don't want the stamens facing down. So that's just a little tip on there. Now, when you run this, it is a 3D embossing folder, so it's going to give you that really, really heavy, impression. So here you can see it on colored cardstock. This is Flirty Flamingo. Nice and bright, very tropical pink. And then here, so Kathy's liking my cross card. And this is using the Faith Collection stamps. I used one of the Everyday Arch dies, and I used the hybrid and the hibiscus folder and some of the dies from the hibiscus. So this is kind of a combination. But the Faith Collection has beautiful stamps that can be used for Easter or beyond. I think this would actually, if you change the greeting, would actually make a beautiful wedding card even, or a baptism card, so many things. I chose to make it an encouragement card. But I do love, petal pink is my favorite color, and I do love the way the petal pink and the white look together with this, very serene. But again, seeing the way it looks with the colored cardstock or the white cardstock. And let's see, did I want to talk about anything else? Yeah. Okay, so let me show you on these two cards. So on this card here, it's again on the colored cardstock. You can see those beautiful leaves, and they're so much texture to them. Now, these flowers here, I actually did the hybrid embossing folder for it. So these are the same. So I did both of these. I did no color on this, and well, I didn't stamp any color on these. I just used the blending brush. These I stamped and die cut. And I ran it through the embossing folder, so it stamped it, it cut it out and it embossed it. For these, I just ran the die. So that's what's cool, is you can run the die and get a flat flower, or these are actually real red, Kim. So this is actually, I think it's a combination of real red and cherry cobbler on that one. I don't have the tutorial in front of me. So this shows you how it looks if you just run it in white and then add the color, or if you stamp it and then run it through the die cutting machine. Phew, lots. Last but not least, I really wanted to show you all the elements of this bundle because I think it's really outstanding. And then we're going to talk about how to use it. So on these, I actually use, there's two, a large and a small leaf stamp and die as well. Okay, now let's get cracking here. Now, a couple of things I want to show you before we start getting out the die cutting machine. I wanted to show you, if we take the embossed piece here, this is done with petal pink, my favorite. And what I thought we would try on this one, that I didn't do on my other one, is actually add a little bit of ink with our blending brush. So this tone on tone is something I really like, especially with an embossing folder, because what you'll find is it just highlights the raised areas and doesn't add a lot of color per se. It more like adds a shadow and adds a depth. So that is what I'm doing here. And I'm just going to start by doing it across half of it. And that way you can see, hopefully, I think my lighting is pretty good. You can see the difference. So I think it's showing up there in the camera. So not a huge difference, but I'll show you. I'll do a side by side so you can see. And I'm just going to kind of go around that rest of the edges here because I'm probably going to cover the inside, the center of this panel. But I wanted you to see the side by side difference of when you add the ink and when you don't with a blending brush. So here's my other one. And you can see side by side. It just adds a little bit of depth, and I think it adds a lot of character. It causes all of your embossed places to look a little bit more raised. I think it adds more emphasis to the raised parts. Okay, so we will come back to that. Now, let's see, and I'm going to show you really quick here. One of the panels that I did here, not a biggie, but I just wanted to kind of show you. This is actually nature something. This is that really pretty kind of newsprint paper that's in the annual catalog that carried over from last year's spring catalog. And I love the gold flecks in it. And I wanted to show you how I achieved this look here, because I've got one designer series paper here and then another one here and then a panel and then so it's kind of triple matted. And this was largely came about because I had this piece that was already cut and I thought, okay, well, let's see. So you could do something like this, which I think maybe we'll do that this time, because this one, I tucked them in. And that's actually what I wanted to show you is anytime I'm tucking in these little strips, I like to overlap them so that you know that everything is going to be, excuse me, you're not going to have any issues with, not getting your paper straight or anything. So I like to just overlap that a bit. But I think for tonight, let's just do it like that and give ourselves a little bit of a difference. So this is 5 by 3. And my other little strip is 5 by 3/4. Now, what I decided to do is because I'm doing these extra projects and demonstrating this for my bingo participants, I'm going to there's a little inspiration sheet that's going to go with this with all the measurements and everything, and I'm going to give that to them as just some extra, like bonus projects. So that is going to go there, and that gives me a little bit of, I kind of like that. Thank you for blessing me, Kathy, while I'm in the middle of sneezing. Okay, so I think we have a couple of panels ready to go here, and that means I'm going to give you some tips and tricks, and then we will put things together here. These are all the pieces we're going to use. Oh, one other thing. When you do my bingo packet, you actually get 2 bingo cards. So everybody's on a level playing field. Everybody gets the same thing. So you have 2 bingo cards, and you get to choose your bingo prizes. So I have a little basket of prizes for each game, and I offer the first person to win gets the first choice, and then we move from there. Okay, let's see. We are going to use, actually, I actually think I do my online bingo a little bit different, but you do get a choice if you already have the prize that I'm awarding for that round, then you get to, then I'll ask you and we'll swap it out for something that you don't already have. Okay, so you are going to use these 2 things only because we have a 3D embossing folder. Now, what I want to do with this is, I think I forgot a plain piece of white cardstock. Let me grab that. So I'm going to actually stamp first, and then I'm going to run through the embossing folder. Now, there are a lot of stamps, and they are already mounted, and they are here. So I'm going to use this large stamp first, and this is going to stamp all 3 of these flowers, and that's the outline. And I am going to do the outline in Calypso Coral. And anytime I'm using one of these really large stamps, I prefer to ink it upside down. That just helps me tremendously. And hello, Tasha. I'm so glad you're joining me live. Tasha has actually been working on team t-shirts for me to take to on stage. Now I've got a little bit of a something there, and I didn't cut this the way I intended to. I just grabbed a piece, but I will say a 4 by 3 piece of cardstock works perfectly in this. So that's actually really handy, and you don't get much waste. Okay. So we'll just angle that a little bit. Now, voila. Now I am going to stamp the inside. There are separate stamps to fill in each one of these. So I'm going to start with the largest one first, and I'm going to, I think I'm using petal pink. I hope that's right. I haven't written this down yet. So easy peasy to stamp that right over. Isn't that lovely? I mean, I think that's pretty hard to beat right there. And then I am going to come behind here with this other hibiscus flower. And I think I had a little, there we go. That's the way it goes. I like to find that little notched petal. And that, okay, there we go. Okay. Anybody on here going to on stage? I would love to meet you, if so. Okay. Now the smallest one, I'm going to come behind here with another one. So you could do these in different colors if you wanted to. You could, vary them. But I wanted them all to be this favorite of mine. Now, I am going to come behind here before I run these through the die. I'm actually going to grab just a little bit of this Daffodil Delight, and I'm just going to put a little bit of yellow in the middle. This to me reminds me of like sunrise colors. I just want it to be pale, so I'm not going really hog wild with it. And now I am ready to put this in the embossing folder. Now, what we're going to do is, first of all, let's save those. We want to get this. I always have to kind of hold my mouth right. There we go. So that is where it's going to go. And you can feel it kind of has a little raised edge, but I do not want that to shift at all when I'm running it through. So I'm actually going to put a little bit of washi tape to hold it in place. And I'm just going to put it right on the edge because I don't want the washi tape to get into my image. There we go. You can kind of feel it. Okay, there it is. And I'm just going to run it like that so that it doesn't collide with my cardstock. But that's going to help secure the die so it doesn't shift. Now I'm going to tuck this in like so. Now you see, this is why you need to have your cardstock cut. 4x3 works great, and I just grabbed a piece. Now, here we go. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to also washi tape my cardstock, and that's going to make sure it doesn't shift. And what this is going to do is not only cut out the die or cut out the stamped image, but it's also going to leave this impression. So if I were just cutting out the stamps, I would just use the die and run it through like you would any other die. But if you want that impression on there as well, then you just line it up like so. Super easy to line up, only takes a second. maybe just a little bit up there. And then I'm just going to come behind here with this piece of washi here. And another piece of washi down here. And that is ready to roll. Okay, I'm just double checking. Everything looks good. So let's get my Big Boss. And hopefully you'll be able to see this somewhat as I'm running it through. So again, I'm running hinge first or spine first, and I just need my gray plate. That's all I need for this. Let me move this over. Okay. So this is where you get a lot of bang for your buck with these, because you can do just traditional embossing, you can do die cutting, or you can do the hybrid, and that's pretty swift. So now I have, they're raised, you see that? And embossed and stamped. The whole 9 yards. So let me just lift this out and this out. Super easy then to just put away. I will say, if you have any, washi tape was all the craze at one time. This is Stampin' Up! Washi tape. It's years old. Sometimes it'll start to kind of stick together on itself, so be mindful of that. Okay, now, before I put this away, I did want to just show you, not that it's a biggie, but I thought it bore a little bit of a demonstration, as it were. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to do a couple of leaves. Then we'll put everything together. So let's see, I need this leaf, and I wanted to have Granny Apple Green. Looks really good with my petal pink. Old Olive to me just brings it, it's a little bit dull, and Garden Green is a little bit too blue. But what I'm doing here is I'm going to stamp it in Granny Apple Green. Then I'm going to stamp off to get that lighter on the inside so it's not too strong. And let's see where my scrap paper went. Let's see, here we go. So let's get the outline first. And the outline here. And then I'm going to come with the fill-in. And I do love the fact that with this Happy Hibiscus, it gives you the option of stamping and die cutting leaves, or having just a full-on die cut leaf, because they look very different. And I like having the option of one or both. Oh, wrong stamp. You can mix and match them, and I think that is really a nice option. Okay, so now these little leaves are ready to run through, and we are almost ready to have a little play with putting things together. So let's see how we get on. We bring our Big Boss back over here and just run these little guys here. Then we're going to put it all together. And you know me, we'll probably change it up a little bit. That's just the way I roll. Okay, so we need this, and we need the thin die adapter, and then we need 2 clear plates. Here's one, and again, you might you know, it's your call as to whether you feel like you need to put a little bit of washi. For me, on these, you know, these little leaves here, I'm going to just live dangerously and run it through. But with the with that hybrid, yeah, too many things, too many shifting things happen when you get ready to start running it through. Ay, that's gonna, okay, sorry about that. Whoopsie, and of course I just did what I said I wasn't gonna do, and that is shift my dies. Now let's try again, now that I'm out of the way, I think, of my camera. There we go. Okay. Okay, here we go. Okay, the last little pieces. And we're going to end up making 2 cards with this. Okay. And again, I'm demonstrating the Happy Hibiscus Bundle. Hey, Gloria, I'm glad you are here. We will take you even if you are late. And I am showcasing this because we are using this bundle with my Stamping Bingo. And with my bingo, you get these, you get kits for the 3 red cards. And then I'm giving you ideas using these with the petal pink. Okay, so let's put it all together. I ended up doing like several congratulations cards because I needed some for team members, and I thought this would just kind of help me in that direction. Now, you know, I like to change things up a little bit. It's just my ADD brain that likes to see it somewhat differently. So let's take one like so. And or maybe we want to put that one on a white card base. Let's see. I'm going to do that because it's going to make it even paler and really, really soft. So let's do that one. So, I think, Gloria, I think you're coming to my fall retreat. Kathy is coming in from Kansas and is going to be at my fall retreat. So you ladies will get to spend some time together, which is super fun. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and put this one down here. And on this one, my original, we did not add any ink. But on this one, we added a little bit of ink with the blending brush just to give it a little bit more depth. And I do like that look. I like it a lot. So I was talking about when I first came on that we were having gorgeous, gorgeous spring weather. Hey, Corinne, I'm so glad you're here. I mean, really gorgeous spring weather. And so all of you who live in cold climates, not trying to rub it in, but, but we are having gorgeous spring weather. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to add these over here. Oh, I didn't run the others. Pooey. Well, I think I'm going to have to run some more. That's why I had that other piece of white. Okay, let me grab another piece of white because I'm not going to be able to put these together. I knew there was something I was missing. Well, let's put this one together and then we'll run one through that we can do with the blending brushes. Okay, so let's just do a little bit here. And yeah, the weather has been gorgeous. You are absolutely right. Let's do, there are 3 greeting stamps. And there's a really nice, the congratulations is what I had already used. And now I am going to use thanks something, let's see, for being so kind. That's a nice one. Thank you notes are always useful. So that I'm going to put right down here, and I'm just going to stick it down flat. Oh, I'm doing really well on my time. I'm a talker, so I always have to kind of keep track of the clock, or I will be here rabbiting on all night. Okay, so now let's put this, I like to place the large one first, and I want to place it so that it is slightly overlapping my label. And the reason is because all of that ridge there, I don't know, it seems to me a little bit busy, so I want to cover that a little bit. And that way my flower really stands out. Now this one I'm going to tuck in like so. And because of that, I'm just going to use my seal and pop it down just right underneath like so. And then I have this little one up here, and I'm going to put a dimensional on the back of this one as well, just a single dimensional. Now, what I did on my red cards, but I didn't do on these, but I think would actually be really nice, and maybe I will tonight, is adding some Wink of Stella, because that, oh yeah, and I'm just doing it in the center, but you see how it's making that yellow really pop and give just a little bit of shine. Now I'm going to tuck in my little leaves here, and I will give you a tip on these little leaves as well. You see how they're kind of, they're really cut all the way through. So they're a little delicate and you have to be careful. But also if you use your seal, it might tear it because they're rather delicate. And if you use your liquid glue, it's going to seep between those edges. Ask me how I know, and I will be glad to tell you. So that's one of those where I'm just kind of giving you that hint so that you don't have to have that mistake. I've already made it for you. That's going to go up here. That's going to be better. And so a mini glue dot, you know, one of the great things about our glue dots is they're a dry adhesive. And so they're really good for your ribbons and really good for your small dies like this. Okay, I think we're going to do that. Let's pop it under here. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Now we are going to add just a little bit. You know, I've been maybe a bit on a pearl kick lately, maybe because of the hibiscus and thinking about Hawaii and tropical climates. I thought the flat pearls looked really, really nice. So I'm just going to add a few of these. This is an annual catalog embellishment, very classic, very pretty. I'm actually going to go white on white there. And then we're going to go like that. So there's my original, and there's my second one. Now, the main difference here, I did add a little bit of Wink of Stella, which you can't really see on camera here, but you can see where I added a little bit of ink with the blending brushes here. So that's my main difference. This is the one that I'm not demonstrating tonight, but came out really nice. Really happy with using this embossing folder and some of the dies with the Faith collection. But I also wanted to do, let me just stamp this greeting really quick. I wanted to do the hybrid without any stamping to show you how that part works as well. And you know, I did want to also show the other greeting is really pretty as well, and it is this one here. You make me smile. So let's just see which one we want to use. I like to get all the pieces together, and then we can just have a little play and figure out how we want to, arrange things, as it were. So, and you see, if I had positioned this differently, I could pull this through, but I did not position it the way I intended. So let's just come back with this. And once again, I am going to pop this in here. And once again, I am going to put just a little washi tape to hold it in place, but I won't need to washi tape my cardstock because I'm just going to put a piece of basic white cardstock in. So I'm not having to position a stamped image. So I'm just going to put a little bit of this in there, and that way I don't want this to shift off of the position where it's going to grab those flowers and run them through for me. Now, once 4x3 piece works perfect. So that is very, very handy. Once again, I'm going to use just the gray plate with my Big Boss. That's it. And just a reminder, you have 2 more days to register for my stamping bingo. And we are using, you'll get packets at least for Happy Hibiscus. Now you can use other stamps if you don't have this, or you can add it on to your registration. There we go. So we wanted to have just some little white hibiscus to play around with. So I'm not going to leave them white. They're very elegant when they're white, but I think personally you can get a little bit too much of a good thing with the white. So let's go there and there. Kind of looks like a tornado hit when I finish, but that's okay. That's part of what we do when we craft. Let's pop that. And that's going to go right there so it doesn't get lost. So I've got a little, on my glass mat studio, I've put some magnet underneath here, which is really handy because then these don't fly off. Okay, now let's bring this back and let's turn it over. I don't like that ink where it kind of distracts my brain a little bit. Now we're coming back to our same colors, and I'm going to use a little bit of Daffodil Delight for the centers, and I'm going to use a little bit of Petal Pink for the petals. So let's work on these little guys first. Hey Estella, I'm so glad you are here. Welcome, welcome. Estella is one of our vendors. We had a little craft show the day before retreat, and we are going to get to do that again in the fall. And so Estella was there, and I think she's coming back. I can't remember. I've got lots of messages I'm still working to catch up on. I mean, honestly, the white with the yellow would be very pretty, just as is. So let's just kind of experiment a bit, but I think we're going to add some petal pink. Oh, those look pretty good. But yeah, I'm going to want some more petal pink in there. So let's take the petal pink next. So that was a very fun and very cool event I was able to host. And I was just showcasing, some of the people who come to my crafting event or my crafting retreat, showcasing the crafts that they make. So we had, we had earrings, we had other like bracelets and necklaces that were done with all kinds of cool stones and what do you call that, enamel ware? We had one of the things that Estella was doing was blind date with a book. That was really cool. She had some treats, and I'm trying to remember what else she had. We had a lady who was doing wreaths. We had somebody who was doing wine glasses that had like etching and stuff on them. We had somebody doing, I think, some mugs, and I think some fabric pieces, things for like a tiered tray and home decor. I mean, we had some really nifty stuff. It's a small space, so we have a limited number of vendors, but I thought it was our first one. I thought it was really cool. Everybody was happy. The shoppers were happy. What was great was we got, of course, our family and friends, they like to come out and support us, but we got people from the hotel that were coming in and not only browsing, but buying. So that's always a good thing. And yeah, so we just do it the day before retreat, and that works out great. That's what the hotel can offer me. So we are on for mid-October. Retreat has sold out. I have a wait list if anybody's interested, because, you know, even though we have sold out, typically that's months away. Somebody will end up having a life event. Maybe nobody will this time. But in my experience, somebody is going to have, you know, a relative in the hospital, or, you know, something that is not going to allow them to come and have their weekend all to themselves. So that's why I have a wait list. Okay. Oh, I do like that better. So there we have our pieces. I'm liking that better. Digging it, digging it. Now we can either bring in this, or we can do this. I like them both. I think on my original I did petal pink, because this is a lot of white for me. But I think we're going to make it work. So let's see what we can do here. I think I might be able to bring in a little bit more petal pink with a little, I think I'm just going to, because I forgot to stick this down ahead of time, but I think I'm just going to lay it across there and snip the edges. And I think that's going to work to give me a little shot of petal pink. Just lay it right. There's the right side. I'm just going to lay it right there. Oh, yeah. So we are in the Lent season for all of those who observe Lent. I have a sweet friend from high school, and she always takes a hiatus from Facebook during Lent. But she's a very, very strong believer and really likes to support her community through prayer. So she said she will check her messages every day, and just if anybody has a prayer request, to send them to her. And I thought that was a really, really sweet, very thoughtful way of doing what she felt to honor the Lord during Lent and sacrifice a bit, and also support her community. So Leticia, we were in choir together, and she was amazing. I mean, I had a minimal amount of talent. Leticia, I mean, she ended up working with the Houston Opera. She's an amazing musician. So, and it's fun to still be in touch. It's funny because for me, most of the people I'm in touch with from high school and such are not people I was necessarily very close with during high school. But I think, you know, hopefully we shift and we change, and our interests change. And let's see if that is going to work. No, I think we're going to bring it up here. This actually needs to come down. Let's do it. Ah, yes, there we go. Get it going in the right direction, and I'm going to be much happier with it. And we'll tuck that one in there. Now, I had some leaves. Where did those? Ah, here are my leaves. We need that little bit of green. You'll see what I mean. It's going to kind of calm even though all of that is very pale color, this is going to kind of calm it down, and at least that's the way I see it. And then this one we're going to tuck right up here. And then we'll tuck in the leaves, and then we'll figure out which greeting is going to be the winner. And that is a wrap on the hybrid embossing folder. Happy Hibiscus Bundle. Let me know if you have any questions at all about it. I will do my best to answer. But I think I gave you a pretty thorough how to use it and what the properties are and all of that good stuff. Okay. I think that just might be the winning piece right there, because I think that is going to be too much. I think they both look good. Anybody have an opinion here you want to share? We're going to go with the rectangle, or we're going to go with the circle. I like them both. If I had cut some spares, I would try one with green ink, but it might just it might not look as good. Now, I need to put a few little dots. Now, what I'm going to do, instead of the pearls, this paper has just a little bit of gold. Can you see that? So I'm going to use these gold pearls. Now, these, I think these are part of the Peter Rabbit, the smile. Yeah, thank you. I think that was, yep, okay. We've got a couple of votes for the rectangle. I think these gold and petal pink dots, I think they're part of the storybook moments, but I'm not sure. They may be an online exclusive. I can't recall. Is that straight? There we go. Oh yeah. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. Yeah, that little bit of texture on there is really, really nice. Now let's pick up a couple of these gold dots, and we will, come on, come on, come on. I'm calling it like it's a dog. I miss my Roscoe so much. We had Welsh Corgis for many years, and our last Welsh Corgi was Roscoe, and he was absolutely the best dog ever. And when he passed away, I think it's been 2 years ago now, at Christmas, we opted to not get another dog. We travel a lot right now at this stage of our life, so we opted to not get another dog. Oh, these are online exclusives. Thank you, Corinne. So there is my original. You'll notice on my original, I added some of the Calypso Coral ink, and I had a Calypso Coral tag, and I have more petal pink in the designer paper. So just small differences. This one is definitely lighter because I only used the petal pink. And I like it when you can kind of, see different ways of using it. But this is using the dies and the embossing folder just with the blending brushes. And this is when you stamp them first and then run them through. And then these that I'm using for my bingo, I just used the dies. I didn't run them through the embossing folder first. So I just used the dies here. And then here is my third card for bingo. And here I used some of these lovely little flowers that are part of the die set. And here, this is the one that I stacked the large and small flower to get a very different look. So Kathy, you like the one I just did better. It's you do kind of, I think, improve, or maybe just try things a little bit different. This one, there's not a lot of difference. Although I think I like the tone-on-tone blending brush, and also I think I like the tone-on-tone base, where this one, I think that white frame is maybe a little bit too much white. where this one, yeah, this one has more white. This one has, yeah, I would be happy to send them all. So that is it for Thursday night stamping with Candy. You have 2 more days to register for Stamping Bingo. Now, it is a $42 ticket. It includes your 3 card packets. It includes 2 of your bingo cards. We play 6 games, and everything is mailed to you before and after. So you have your packets mailed to you, and then you have your prizes mailed to you as well. Can't find my second bingo card, but I can promise you get a second card. And then you do get the inspiration sheets. We craft together after we play 6 games of bingo. We have some regulars, and we are in a private Facebook group. Kathy is here, and she is one of our regulars. So we would love to have you join us, whether you want to be a regular or just pop in from time to time. 2 more days. I will put the link in the description. And I thank you for your consideration. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate your support so much. Take care, and God bless.